look like that. Oh Lord. No intro. We in the building. Cheef and Go. Back again. Got a different setup, y'all. Got my man Sean Mackay. 46. A 46 smoking guns. Right?
Yeah, it is.
We're going to do it from a different perspective this week. We're going to give you the audience perspective. We got Cool Rob going to come through, and we're going to give you the angle of the audience and their experience of this good crank go-go culture, right? So I want to start off with my man Sean, right, who has been a great help in my career as far as allowing me to work in the studio, giving me a place to get busy at and sleep in sometimes too. And he just kind of let me go, man. We hit it off, and it's been cool ever since. Real good guy. So I kind of want to start off with where he started, how he came up, how he got interested in the music. This is him right here, in case you didn't notice. This is Sean. 46, Sean, what it used to be. They used to call him Psycho, but he's a different man now. Okay, he's different. And we want to talk about that. So, you know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all share this with a friend. We on Go-Go Loops TV on YouTube. We on Felix Cheef Stevenson Facebook. We on Go-Go Loops on Instagram. GO_GO Loops. We on Lux Radio. Make sure y'all subscribe. We on the Lux Radio Roku channel. And Lux Radio Twitch. We everywhere, man. We Indian everywhere. So we about to get this thing started. I can see comments on YouTube. Not the other platforms. So, if you're on YouTube, holler at me. Holler at us and let us know if you got any questions or you want to chime in. But yeah. And I had my intro today because the setup was different. So excuse me about that. I know y'all can't wait to hear that. Well, welcome to the DMV. Jumbo have a hat. Mumble on your chicken wings. I should have just did it live. Nah. Anyway, Sean Mackay, y'all. So, Sean, let me sit back. I ain't even got my coffee or my Tito's or nothing. We're going to talk about growing up, right? You grew up in Northeast, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me. I think we're gonna need that light. It's gonna have to be the sun ray. Around the time you were in that neighborhood around there where I Street.
Yeah, 8th and H area.
8th and H area.
Yeah.
Not far from where Mr. Edmonds was doing things, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So around that time you were about about 14 or something, around them 87 when that era really hit?
I was probably about
or even younger.
Maybe a little younger.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, just growing up over there, how was it growing up? And what did you learn? What did you take away? What was good? What was bad?
I mean, all of it was bad if you want to know the truth. I mean, I live directly across from a homeless shelter, so it was always ambulance, fire trucks, police going there. And then the drugs in the area was an epidemic. It was terrible. I mean, it was crack house 2 doors down. You know how it goes.
Right, the usual.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I remember you telling me about Miss Yvonne, your mom, her involvement in the church, right? That church that been there for 100 years, right? I just remember that.
Yeah.
What's that church called? Right down the street.
Pilgrim.
Yeah, Pilgrim. And that was her spot.
Yeah.
And stuff she did for the community, in this crazy community with all this going on. Like, it seemed like you told me stuff about her looking out for folk and stuff like that. So, if you wanted to share that, Mr. Ty Duckett say, got the goddamn CEO in the building. Yeah, Ty.
Yeah, she my mother was instrumental in the neighborhood. When we had like family reunions, gatherings, if it was a holiday, she opened her doors and anybody could come through, have a plate, eat. with no judgment. You could be the worst of the worst. You could be, whatever your situation is. She didn't judge people. Uh, so she kind of, you know, took a liking to people and had different people around all of the time. So it wasn't just like, just on those holidays. You whenever somebody, you pull up.
Right.
Basically, you could just pull up to the house and kick it.
Big mama, basically, like she held it down.
Yeah,
she was a blessing.
Definitely a blessing.
Yeah, that's cool, man. And them pies, that sweet potato pie.
Yeah,
I think I tasted it one time.
One of a kind.
Legendary.
Yeah.
So all right. So then around, so you're still around there. You go to high school, right? You stay out of trouble pretty much. You doing good.
Nah.
Okay, so okay.
Nah, I was dibbling and dabbling in the streets. You know, all over the place, basically. You know, kind of curious and wild. As a young guy, got arrested a few times and did some time in Oak Hill, and then Spring On the school came and got me from Oak Hill.
Oh,
Yeah, and
for what? To play football?
Yeah, to play football.
Oh, okay.
So that kind of started, not to say my transformation, but it was a good thing. Where when you're young, you don't look at things as being good. You just like to have. Basically, you was just trying to have fun.
Right.
So, but it was a good thing that they got me out. So when the judge released me, he released me with the expectations that I'm playing sports.
So you was already going to Spingarn?
No.
That's what I'm saying. How did that work? They recruiting
so
the knuckleheads?
So they wrote a letter to the judge.
Right.
Inquiring about me playing football for the team. And in the court order, it said released back into my parents, but I had to go to school every day and play all sports. Yeah.
So they knew you played football before, boy. Yeah, they just knew the size. They heard about you.
Well, I think they kind of heard about me, but also my uncle was a coach.
Oh,
so
okay.
My uncle talked to some people, and they made it happen for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah, it was all right.
That's all right. Yeah. So now you're in Spingarn playing football, and what you play? What position?
I played defensive tackle and offensive guard.
Okay, you went both ways.
Both ways, always.
You didn't have enough good players, probably, right?
Nah,
he was just that much of a beast.
Well, I mean, we had players, but it wasn't. We didn't have a full roster with. It wasn't 30 people on the team. It might have been like 24.
Right. Sure. And right. Look, I played boys club. We had 12 people. Somebody got hurt. 2 people got hurt. Game over. We forfeit. So, but so all right, now Spingarn, you're playing football. Big. I'm looking at the videos, looking at the go-go's to get you in the crowd. He's a big, mean looking son of a bitch. I'm tell you that much. You know what I'm saying? Had them broad shoulders.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. And he wasn't dancing. He wasn't in there to party. You know what I'm saying? I said, yeah, this Sean, yeah, that's psycho. Because, I remember, but just looking back, it's like, yeah. So now, playing football, that's around the time that we starting to go to the go-go, right? Well, towards the end of that, I guess. You graduate.
Well, it was probably like maybe 11th grade year.
Right. Yeah, me too. The Unique.
We used to go to the Unique I think it was Wednesday?
Thursdays.
Okay.
$12.
Yeah. We used to go to the Unique every week. That's where, that was probably my first official go-go, I want to say, like, in the club.
Right.
I've been to, like, outside stuff, but it wasn't in, like, club atmosphere.
Right, and that's a makeshift club. But then I be looking at it now, like, how did they have that go in there?
It used to be packed in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember going up there. I'm hanging with Ricky, and they had the strippers up there. I'm young as a mug. I'm in that joint. Like ghetto stripping to sit there. You get a table. Lap dance. They got chairs. Like sensationals and them. They smoking jacks. They die rough. Got bullet holes. I'm like, man, I don't like strip clubs. Ugh. But yeah, so I'm hanging with Ricky at the time and Cool Rob, and Ricky riding around with the phone back in the day. Them jumps.
In a bag.
Yeah, that bag jump. So this be a great time to bring in a Cool Rob 46, 46 smoking gun.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Rob? It's
Ain't
been a
nothing.
minute, my G.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay, trying to get it where it's like this. Oh no, it ain't gonna
Oh
work.
yeah.
Yeah, so what you been up to, my brother?
I ain't nothing. Just working.
Working and being cool.
Yeah, that's it. Working and being cool. Just trying to stay with the people that's been with me.
That's right. That's right.
I ain't seen my man Sean in a little while, but we gonna link up though.
Yeah. We was
Yeah,
we was talking yesterday. He was telling
used
me
to
how
see him almost every day.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. He was telling me how that all unfolded. We could talk about it now, but yeah, I figured since we talking about the uniques, you know what I'm saying?
That's my first go.
Yeah,
Me and Ricky, my sister, and somebody else. I can't remember who the rest of them was. But yeah,
that was
the unique.
That was 49th.
That was 49th back then.
Right.
Yeah,
Before turning
that was 49th Avenue back then. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I would go with y'all, and I'll be standing in the front studying Jeff and Sunshine mostly on this left side.
Jeff,
but it'd be
Jeff.
us three. You know what I'm saying? It'd be probably before you got to hanging with them a lot, but it'd be like me, you, and Ricky. Seemed like I remember when I went, and 25 hours still be in that joint, right? Wild and out.
Yeah.
They ran that joint pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And I used to be like, man, we be in the front. How you in the front early, it's cool. But then as it pick up, that shit pick up. Like, all right.
After halftime, you don't want to be in the front no more.
Yeah.
Slide right on to the side.
Yeah. But we held it down. Another Bladensburg alumni, if y'all ain't know, Cool Rob. Yeah, I know we had gym together. I think I was like 11th or 12th grade, but yeah, so I thought it'd be cool to come on here and talk about that. So he was telling me how y'all kind of linked up through Lisa, right?
Yeah, so the other Sean started messing with Lisa. They was working at Eck and Jamal Safeway, which I don't know how that joint stood up there. that joint been up there for a while, but yeah, I met Sean through Sean that was messing with Lisa. And then we just started hanging out a lot. All three of us actually. Then I don't know how I met the rest of 46, but that's how I met them two right there. And then we've been friends since then. And that had to be in the 80s.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Been in the 80s. So
how did it feel though to be like? I mean, I just kind of want to get y'all perspective from being in the crowd and kind of like we were just saying, we get rowdy. You got to kind of watch where you stand. Sometimes like I would go by myself, as I'd be in the band, so I knew people, but and or even when me and Los would go, it's like you kind of could feel when that shit about to happen. You try to get out of the way because you could get mopped up in that crowd. And I would when I'm by myself, I kind of be like, all right. Then we might hit a certain zone, like I'm gonna leave early. I'm gonna go out this door. You know what I'm saying? Just to be I know security and everything, but when niggas get into that rumble, it's safe. So just kind of like I just wanted to see if we could talk about that, and then I just want to know how it felt to be like local celebrity by going to the Go-Go's. Y'all was pretty much local celebrities. People might know who Cool Rob is and might not know who played keyboard for I ain't trying to talk shit about no band who play keyboard for the Huggabuts. Let's just say the Huggabuts. That's how important the crowd is, you know, or part of the party, or you know what I'm saying, the culture that the audience is. You get songs and shit made after you, and you know, and they try and get you to come back and pay 2 or 3 times a week at the same time, but it's a two-way street to support. You're getting the love, you know what I'm saying? And then the band, they getting the patronage. So I just thought that was a cool angle, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more so like with the bands, it's like kind of creating like a friendship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it like support them, they support us. You know, and you know the following kind of the same way. You know, so we just like they feed off of us for energy, we feed off them for energy too.
Right.
So it's like, you know, a togetherness, oneness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And y'all was
and then it's something, you know, it's something to do every night that they playing. You know, you go support them. They put you on, and you just party.
Yeah.
Sure.
That energy, man. That them drums, man. That is nothing like that energy, man. It's from the motherland.
Yeah.
Right. It's ceremony. We celebrating death, life, anniversaries, birthdays. You know, we go to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's embedded in our DNA. You know, that's like rich in our ancestry. You know, especially as it relates to the drum.
Yeah.
Which was the first instrument, which was made for spiritual purpose, for these type purposes, ceremony, ritual, rites of passage, summoning spirits, communicating.
Yeah, I mean, we used to like, you know, it's like also when you connect with, like for me, I used to like the drummer. I always wanted to be a drummer, but I wasn't a drummer. So I connect with him. So, you know what I mean? Like I was always trying to push the drummer to drive harder.
Right. Making that crank face like,
yeah, all the time. Yeah.
Skip that shit, nigga.
Yeah.
Y'all was mostly, oh yeah, I know about that. I know about that shit. Look, when I was young, before even I hit the stage, you know, when I was potential and we'd be practicing Capitol Heights or some of these jumps, niggas, I tell them they be coming in that jump, hey, shorty, you better, with the EB on, with their hands up here, like, you better crank that shit. You be like, oh, this nigga about to shoot me. He got 380. If I don't crank this beat, it's gonna be a problem. That's how I used to feel. But like, yeah, you go to the show, niggas and girls, they're gonna be in the front just like, yeah. But you gotta know that mean crank. That mean you cranking or crank some more. You know, it ain't a mug. It's the crank face.
Yes, sir.
So, but that shit, like you said, is that feedback mechanism. So it's like, I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna give them more. Like you said, you can see, or you know, niggas, you know what I'm saying? They're like, all right, let me give them a little something.
Yeah.
You know, and we do it to each other as drummers. And I go see Buggy play, I'm gonna be like, you know, like, you can give me something. Yeah. So that's a beautiful thing. Y'all was mostly Northeast, going to see Northeast though, right? This was the height of Northeast.
Well,
yeah.
We started off,
okay,
you know, going to see Northeast. Then we went to, you know, we started going to see Back. We started going to see RE, Junkyard. We would go support all the bands. Basically, it was, you know, in our era.
Right.
And then towards the end of me going out on a regular basis, we started going to see, of course, y'all, the Huggabuts.
Yeah.
And the familiarity with y'all was the real different.
Yeah.
Especially with Rick, you know, having a connection with Rick and all of that.
Right. It was really like family, like, you know, just closer relationship. Yeah, and I mean, we was playing with I mean, back then, you know, you go to Taj Mahal, you had Jump, Pure Elegance, Hucklebucks back. A lot of bands was playing together, but I ain't remember. I talked to Kyrie about Northeast. They wasn't on a lot of them joints. Would it be a lot of, you know, they kind of had their own lane.
Yeah.
That's kind of did too. So yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, if y'all went to see, you know, them shows, y'all was seeing them anyway. But no, they was running their own lane. But yeah, man, that's cool. Somebody said, Mr. Dollar Sign, Mr. T Dollar Sign said, I remember always hearing their names get on get said on them NEG tapes, 93, 94. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that era, man. Yeah, cool, Rob. You don't go out too much no more.
Nah, I don't know when the last time I've been to a go-go. Be honest with you,
Yeah,
I don't even know where. Um,
Yes.
it's been a while. It's been a real good while.
yeah,
You know.
Yeah, you do for one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
am due for one.
I got one for you this month. And well, in June.
June.
Yeah, in June. I got one for you.
Okay.
yeah. And then
Of
it should
course,
be.
I'm waiting on. You know the reunion. I'm waiting on,
Yeah, yeah,
or everybody waiting on, I should say.
yeah. September, man. We talking about September. I got a
Oh, okay.
phone
My
call
birthday
today.
month then.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. You a Virgo. You a
Libra.
Virgo? Oh,
Libra.
Libra. Okay.
Yep.
Virgos and Libras extra cool. Seem like a lot of times, but
Hmm.
yeah, we gonna do something, man. Got a
Good.
real good call, so it's pretty much a done deal now. Blessed,
Okay.
man. I'm so happy about that. I can't say too much,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
so all right, Rob. Well, like I said, I just wanted you to kind of come in on that 46 segment. We're gonna talk about, you know, we're gonna go on through this with this guy's
Okay.
transformation. Uh,
Okay.
you know what I mean? Appreciate you tapping in.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right, Rob.
All right, all
All
good,
right.
brother. Talk to you.
All right.
Peace. Yes, sir. All right, so we had to go. And like I said, I'm looking at these videos and Rob partying and Sean and you just kind of I seen a couple of them, you was on some type of mission, right? I said, yeah, I kind of know what this, what he told me. So I'm like, he wasn't in there to party. He was just in there, he was for the party. He ain't much of a dancer, but
Nah, it was more so, like we used to go for the fight at one point, so it was kind of like the enforcer for my group, my homies. Uh,
he was that guy.
yeah, at one point.
Yeah, you want to expand on that? What's up, Pooh?
I mean, like when I was younger, because I used to fight my uncles.
Yeah,
So a lot of times, when I was around my peers that was my size or guys that was my age, I felt like, you know, like I could take them.
right. There wasn't
So
nothing because you was fighting your uncles because that was your punishment, right?
yeah. Like when I used to get in trouble, my mother, she would, because she raised me without a father in the house. She would talk to me, and a lot of times it wasn't getting through. So she would tell my uncles to talk to me,
Oh, she
but
told him to
it
rough you
wasn't
up.
like it was. No, it wasn't. It's more so her telling them to rough me up. She was just telling them, what I mean,
Trying
like
to get
have a
you
talk
right.
with them,
Yeah,
and it always ended up in us fighting.
right. Because you too. You was rebellious or whatever.
Yeah, I was definitely rebellious. So
And these dudes like plumbers, and I mean,
yeah,
they wasn't no little dudes, right?
Not at all. Nah.
Man, Sean told me that. I said, "What?" He said, "Yeah, I'm talking about no gloves, like, yeah,
Yeah. Like they didn't take it light on me at
yeah,
all. Yeah, I mean, basically they fought me like I was a grown man,
right." So,
and that wasn't like it was standard. That was standard. It wasn't no talking, no whole lot of what I mean, like what's on your mind. It was straight to it. No,
blah blah,
yeah,
two
quick,
pieces.
all the time. So when I got in around people that was my size or my age, it kind of made me into the psycho.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So
Hurt people.
yeah, definitely.
No, but abuse is like that. I mean, not to say it was abuse because this shit got you right. We in a different a time, but y'all know what I mean. Like, just that tough love sometimes is needed, especially when you're hard headed. You you're gonna get that tough love, but sometimes it will transfer to someone like, yeah, if your parents was extra beating you with objects and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like abusive or whatever, however people, whatever your idea of abuse is. But yeah, that could get turned in to anger and mental illness, or mental issues, I'm saying, or anger, lashing out in different ways, or it could turn into abuse and relationships, friends in the streets, all back the cycle. Now your kids, you hitting them with drum stools and you know what I'm saying, and extension cords and hangers and shoes, whatever, whatever your mother could pick up. Mother, boy, but sometimes it's worse. Coffee mugs.
It was definitely like it brought, I want to say, the worst out of me.
Yeah.
At that point. And then, like being in an atmosphere, like as far as the clubs at that time, where it was hot in there all of the time, and it was just crammed with people.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you grew up in an era where somebody stepped on your shoes, you know what I mean? That became a problem. So, all of that being mixed up, in that atmosphere created, like, it wasn't a good place.
Right.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't conducive to, to niceness. It was hot, it's irritable. It's like, I mean, the energy, attitudes, you got other niggas that went through same stuff or similar stuff, or,
right.
Dad ain't home or whatever the case was. It was a lot of anger, people coming to the go-go,
right,
to fight, to release that anger through the drum, through the music, through the energy of that. And so that clashes. In that era, people was pretty much coming to the go-go fight. A lot of, crews, or to prove dominance, right? That we're gonna run this. Who now who's such and such the real deal? Who's running this thing?
Yeah.
And so that whole thing, created that atmosphere. So yeah, I get it.
And then young guys, kind of the loyalty amongst the groups. When you together, each one of us had our own situations that we were going through at home.
Right.
And we found ourselves kind of complete together. So it's just like, our crew, we gonna protect each other and make sure we all right while we here together. And if you go home and you at your school, because a lot of us went to different schools.
Right.
So if you went to school and you had problems at your school, we was accountable to each other. So we would come help each other out.
Right.
Different,
Yeah, it's like a gang, but just without all the some of the jump in, jump out. The actual just a group, family, band of brothers. Like the band was like that. Bands, especially back then. I don't know about now.
Yeah.
But it was camaraderie. So yeah, I get that for sure. And but that's how Psycho was created. So then go to the go-go. That shit get old. How did you get into managing Listen? Was Listen the first band you managed?
Yeah, for sure. Well, at the time, the band had broke up and it became Two Lessons.
Okay.
And we were still going out, but not more so like on the thug part of it.
Right.
We had kind of got older and started having kids, and we was kind of focused on getting money and all of that at that point. So we would go out to see Listen, and when they broke up and became Two Lessons, I was still going to see Scooby and Yanni and Mike.
That's the group?
That's the band.
Okay.
So the band was the musicians plus Mike and Yanni.
Okay.
And Scooby and O and Tuffy, that was the group.
Okay.
Right. So I was going to see them, and one Friday night, I think it was, I went to go see them, and they only had, I want to say maybe about 30 people in the club. And the they didn't have a show. They canceled it because there wasn't enough people to pay for the establishment. So at that point, I asked the members what we needed to do to get more people in there. So I bought some flyers, and next thing you know, I'm out putting flyers out, beating the streets. So the next week, it was 75 people in it. So they actually played that night.
Okay.
So then I talked to the promoter that was on the show at that point and joined in with them in partnership. So we bought more flyers, and then I started pushing it. So it was like the next week, it was like 100 and something. So it started going up. So after that,
and where was this?
This was at Mirrors nightclub.
Okay, yeah.
So, but I was still going to see them on other nights. It was just this one particular Friday night that, the numbers were going down.
Mm-hmm.
So after, some time, they asked me, about managing the band. And I told them, yeah, I was interested. I mean, by this time I had already been throwing parties with him, so I was kind of getting to know how the operation worked.
Okay.
And then, of course, being that I came up through the go-go, in the era, I was, knew people from past.
Right.
So I would, kind of hit them through email or social media or whatever, and the numbers started going up. So then at one point through that, I negotiated with them to get back together. So once the band got back together, after that, I don't want to say it was smooth sailing, but it was like we was in automatic by then.
Okay, so that wasn't the reunion. That was they was together before that Howard reunion.
You said the Howard reunion. The Howard reunion
was later.
So the Howard situation was they were already broke up at that point.
Okay.
So our first show was at Murs when they all came back together.
Okay.
So the listen versus listen, all of that had already happened.
Oh yeah, the Club U, the E,
E and all of that had already happened. Yeah, all of that had already happened. Yeah.
So damn, you don't remember what year?
I want to say, I think they was all of this. What I'm talking about probably happened about 2010.
Okay.
Maybe it was about 9 or 10, something like that.
And they had no manager. They was just doing with the promoter.
Well, they had a manager, but he was around. But I want to say, like, he had some job obligations that he wasn't there all of the time.
Was it Country and then Realized?
Nah, it was Brady.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's
Brady.
right.
Yeah.
Damn, man. So managing listen, come from the go-go. Now you on that side. And you were saying like you was still going out, but it was more chill. Y'all wasn't into the rowdy because the game had changed at that time too.
Yeah.
Remember, you couldn't get in joints without dress shoes. So that's they had a big part of that. The laws was changing. They was pushing it out of DC and the license, dance hall license. This when all this shit was happening. Yeah. And so it was like a perfect time for them to be singing and to be after Maisha to present it in a more clean, grown up way. And to Tacoma stations and your Mirrors and your 94ths, and I don't remember that's the same. I've definitely been on Mirrors.
Yeah.
But these type of spots that were more, dress up, button ups, and you know what I'm saying? And then the Black Men's Coalitions, the hotels, the New Year's joints. So, you had Familiar. So yeah, it just seemed like at that time, Crank was not even, Crank wasn't playing that much. Essence will still play classic set. You know what I'm saying? Crank has made a resurgence, right? It seemed like it was a lot of Listen, like I said, Still Familiar. Listen was kind of doing their thing. And Yeah, I remember like niggas be, I ain't putting on no dress shoes, man. Niggas did not want to put on no dress shoes.
Yeah. So I want to say right around that time, it was more so like Jay-Z shoes, Sean Carter's.
Yeah, the dress type tennis shoes, Pradas, and
yeah. 50 Cent shoes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's button-up shirts.
Right.
So it was kind of, it was soft.
But yeah, that was an era, boy.
Yeah.
And it's like Raheem was coming up. I guess I'm thinking earlier times too, because I would, you know, I would go to a Crystal City joint and Raheem would be like, he might come on before them or after them. He wasn't Raheem, assigned Raheem or something like that, or he hadn't made no big records, it seemed like at this time.
Yeah.
But it was like Anthony Hamilton, seemed like he would be in a lot of them joints, be like Familiar, Listen, or Us. The Black Alley was coming up. That's when E was still with Black Alley.
Yeah, I want to say at that time, Subtle was hot.
Subtle, right?
Yeah.
Subtle. That Thursday LaFontaine joint.
Yeah, right. Yep, same.
That time, okay. Yeah. So then, how did you embark on, or what made you want to do a studio? Or, you know what I'm saying, to create So Swag and get into the music on that side?
Well, so once the band had broke up, I still felt the attachment to the music. And one of the things, like with dealing with the band, we had certain different locations that we had practices at.
Okay.
And I was trying to figure out what different places was lacking in, so I could create the sounds of swag. So we even tried to do a spinoff band from Listen when they broke up, using some of the members, but it didn't work. So it was, you know, I wanted to use the studio to create my own band and you know, take my own movement.
Right.
But we tried several different things and it didn't work out. So
they was around at Swag that he was doing that day? Oh, I didn't do that.
What was that?
You saying like we was putting that trying to put that group together. Was the studio open, I'm at?
Yeah. So you know, we tried several different things.
Okay.
Several different members and try to format it and bring different artists in to create a band, but it never really worked out. But in the meantime, you know, of course, I was still getting my go-go fixed because I had other bands that was coming through. Rehearsing. So it was, for me, that was the fulfillment on the side that was missing, because I got to see a lot of different bands and hear their sound. And, you know, we would, of course, you know, Chief, we would critique different bands while they were there.
Right.
See what they were missing and what they were missing.
Right.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's always a good way to recruit too.
Yeah.
Learn that from Charlie Fenwick. Because you got all this talent coming in. And you know what I'm saying? You might slide in there and the keyboard player, he leaving out of this slow. Hey, let me talk to you, young man. How long you playing there?
Yeah.
That's how Rio probably did the same thing. I mean, you know, it's just part of it. But so yeah, I come back from Atlanta in 2015, I believe. And I came straight back. I, you know, got the call. They say Sean got a studio. He trying to make a recording side, and you know, I'm an engineer. I know how to record and you know, set up whatever. So I came back home. I think I came through that night or that week, and we sat and talked for hours. You know what I'm saying? Smoking our jacks and drinking our coffee.
Yeah.
You know, like old men. Going up there to talk to old Charlie Fenwick to pick his brain, right? And and it's just like we opened the other side and we built that into the joint, and he let me rock out, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. He let me rock out. I would run sessions. I recorded a couple bands. We recorded a couple, Black Passion, and I think Dynasty did something. But that was the idea. We wanted to record, like you're saying, you were trying to, figure out what you thought was missing and put it together. And then now we got these facilities for bands to record, and we wanted to push that. We wanted to get bands to record. And Sean had this mission statement when I got there. It's kind of, I don't know why I ain't find it before, but it's kind of like the same thing the go-go plan is, right? When you look it up and it's telling you, they're trying to preserve the culture. Do you remember your joint?
Not right offhand, but it was sounds of swag like we preserving the culture of live music and entertainment in the DMV or something.
Yeah. And that's pretty much kind of what they're doing, preserving the culture, archiving it, history, playing, by recording, doing shows. That's what these events, that's how you get the fun. And these events are for teaching the history, preserving the culture, continuing the culture, recording, education. You know what I'm saying? Like these platforms, we got all these platforms now. We talking to people from the culture, from our area to expand our story, to teach, to spread our story, to spread some people's history and their story and their involvement. And so, but when I came up, he had a mission statement, and it's pretty close to what they have on that go-go plan if you look it up. So that was just cool, man. And I aligned with that, my thoughts and my and what I wanted to see, from the culture, and how I wanted to help as far as with kids, and because we got to get these kids into it for to extend the life of it. And it's just live music in general. Of course, go-go was a big part of it because that's what we come from, but just live music in general, because without music being in the schools, it hurts because music is a great teacher, right? I mean, it's a great learning music, learning instrument is a great thing on a number of levels. For memory, it's good for memory, it's good for confidence. It'll keep you somewhere practicing out of trouble, right? It could take you, to travel the world and make money, take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? That's the rare cases, right? But even just to learn an instrument, it's therapeutic to play an instrument, to write music, right? When you're writing songs, writers, rappers, and when you're doing it for the love and the art, true artists, drummers, like, yeah, me playing the drums, that helped me from punching people, or what I'm saying, that you get that shit out.
Right.
The congos, same thing. But music in general is just good for kids. Saved my goddamn life, I tell you that, because I would have been, out there doing what I did, but I was part-timing on that side, right? I go up there on the slanging and hanging and banging, but guess what? I gotta go to practice tonight, or I got a show tonight. And so I was able to leave where they still on the block, and I come back, and the jump outs came last night, and this and that, and I was sliding by.
Yeah, at the time when I created Swag, part of what we were attempting to create was a place where the youth, they could be involved with the music.
Right.
Around that time, and the music in the schools was being taken out, so they wasn't supporting it financially.
Right.
So, and I know that a lot of the musicians that play go-go music learned in the school.
Right.
So to me, it was like, and these are conversations that we had, back then, which was the music is being taken from us.
Right.
That was around the time when they was trying to kill the go-go music. Of course, at the time they were shutting down bands and all of that was going on. And then, with the not financing the music education.
Yeah. Curriculum. Right. Look at that. That's, trickle down effect, because, not only is the music that we listen to turned digital, right? So just the frequency they listen to, then I used to bass guitars and congos. I say these things every interview, y'all, but it's real. So they tune into that, and then they not looking up to a Go-Go Mickey or Juju or Jammin' Jeff or Rapper or Funk or Bugs. Like we wanted to be like them, because these was like our local heroes. You know what I mean? And they was just cool. Like we was the Go-Go is that's what we loved, right? And this was before hip hop was as big as it is. So it's just kind of like our thing. We loved it, and we aspired to be that, which motivated us to go, like me, to teach myself. Then you got other guys that went to school. They was in marching band. They was in band class. They was in, you know what I mean? And with that not being there, and they looking up to rappers, and you know what I'm saying, a bunch of stuff that really has no substance, like that's not real, right? It looks like something on the surface, and everybody chasing this dream, which, you know, like being an NBA basketball player, or you know that same hood thing. All you got is wicked jump shot or selling crack rock, and it's just, it becomes limited. But at least if back in our day we could get an instrument, you know what I'm saying, you could learn in school. Like I said, even if you don't go to try to pursue it as a career, it's still something you could do for the rest of your life. It's therapeutic. You might could record or write, but by them taking it out of schools too, now, you know, I'm already looking up the YN such and such rapper and these, you know, some of this foolishness, and now I don't even have it in the school to maybe pique my curiosity, right? Because I'm, oh damn, I ain't never played a drum. I like this, and so it's just, so that's another downfall on why we don't have younger bands. That's another causation, and that's crazy. I ain't never see it like that. Yeah.
So I'm not sure. You know, I'm gonna say between our age group and maybe our kids, it's gonna be a disconnect right there because of the music, the lack of music, the lack of them, you know, limited opportunities,
right?
Because it was taken out of school.
Yeah. So we gotta you know, do our due diligence to figure out, like, through the library. You know, I know they got different stuff working with the funding through the library, even with the events. You know, doing workshops and webinars. Some of the stuff I'm planning to do to try to get you know, set up things like that for them to come to and learn. So that's important, man. Or just push the initiative to get them to put it back in the schools. And the same, I mean, I know we got a lot of charter schools and different things like that that's set up. So it's some places for it, but it was like public school. It was easier. It was more accessible. It was funded. You know, even if you had some raggedy drums, you had some drums. You know what I mean? So, you know, music, I had it in Maryland over here. I still remember my elementary school music teacher. Like, it was in the chorus, and it had a big effect on me. And you don't know it as a youngin', but as I got older and started playing, you know, I realized how much it had an effect on me. I mean, you know, I realized this is what I wanted to do. So doing swag, like I said, we trying to breathe life into the music, put some paint where it ain't. We had our group of Jeff and Angelo, and you know what I'm saying, we was recording some good music towards the end there.
Yeah.
But you know, that didn't pan out. We had to get out of there. I don't know, we don't even need to talk about that, but people still calling saying, man, y'all still got the spot.
Yeah.
So future plans, man, like for So Swag music group, you know, like what,
well,
for the people, you know, I know what we talk about, but for the people.
Yeah, we talked about it several different times. It's like right after the pandemic that
excuse me,
like took the price of renting space just went out of control. I tried to find a spot more than once to try to bring it back.
Right.
And I still would love to do it again. So the door is not closed at all.
Yeah.
So it's still open.
Yeah.
Just finding the right opportunities.
Right. And then, you know, some spots, they not set up, or they're not willing to do studio or noise.
Yeah, that's a major part too.
That's a major part.
Yeah.
And then when you renting, when you leasing a spot, and for a studio, you gotta make adjustments, right? Soundproofing is different things you got to do to make it suitable, you know, sound wise, sonically. So that's the thing too. So it's not the easiest thing to find a damn spot that's gonna let you come in there, that you feel like you're gonna be there for a while, where you could do
Build
your
the space out.
Yeah, build it out,
Yeah.
right?
And especially if it has you're gonna have neighbors. That was one of the things that kind of killed swag.
Right.
I like to say, and I'm not, big on kind of tooting my own horn, but I think we kind of stepped the game up with the studio, with the look and the sound, all of that. So I mean, even places now that I see that came after us,
Right.
they tried to steal the blueprint, a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely was seeing, spaces pop up. Like you said, they even look similar. But yeah, the cool part about Swag, which was, if y'all never been, Swag was on the 4th floor of this building. It's crazy. Like, most studios usually the 1st floor, basement, something like that. So this joint was on the 4th floor. But yeah, sonically, for one, it sound good. It looked good. Always smell good, right? But the amount of speakers he had, right? Monitors and stuff. Some joints you go to, it's just like a practice spot. It's kind of bare. It's just you just need the bare minimum just to get through rehearsal. But that jump sounded so good, it made you feel like you was at a show. So it kind of gave you that feel of how it's gonna feel on stage. Probably definitely better than how it's gonna feel on stage, because how the monitors be sometimes. But yeah, man, it was a cool, sexy spot. It was sexy. You hear me? So we gonna bring it back. Yeah, Abdul, my man Pooh, I'm gonna holler at you, man, if you come up here. Big Black. What up, Big Black? We got some people chiming in. But yeah, man, 46 Smoking Gun, Sean, Mackay. We in here talking about the now at this point. We always fast forward to now. Would you like to talk about the Mackay group and some of the things you're doing with that?
Well, I mean, the Mackay group, I started this business with my mother before she passed away. It was real estate investing group. We fix and flip houses, try to find houses that were in need of repair, purchasing directly from the owner. And we had our team was 6. We had the houses, and we used contractors to repair houses, and then we resold those houses.
Yeah, and I know you told me it's kind of in a transition right now, but because of COVID, pretty much just
Well, COVID did me bad, but I'm on my way back.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
that's the point. I just wanted to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? Just so people know what you've been doing. And I feel like this is a good year. Like I said, we talk behind the scenes, and just looking for that right spot. So y'all stay tuned. So Swag Music Group, we back in action. You know what I'm saying? Sexier than ever before you know it. But I ain't gonna hold my man too long. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe and like and comment. It helps with the rankings. You know what I mean? And I'll be back next week, Thursday at 8. Cheef and Go, keeping it cranking for the culture all the time. You know what I'm saying?
all the time.
I got my assistant. She's hiding in the wings, but she'll be incorporated in the show soon. But yeah, y'all, we signing off. Anything you want to tell them, or tell them where to reach you, or anything like that, or you laying low? It's cool.
Well, I have you can reach me at the Mackay Group on Instagram, of course, on Facebook, Sean Mackay. That's That's it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
So Swag Music Group and Go Go Loops. Come on. Y'all make sure y'all go download and stream We Go Go. That's the song we made over at So Swag on the studio side. We Go Go. Check the recipe. Live it up. What else? The Flick It Up. We about to flick up with Young Lambo and Low. The Fire Joint. You know, all them songs was recorded over there and So Swag. So y'all go check them out, download, stream, and be back at you next week, y'all. Peace, love, one.